Hey, this is Carla from the Butcher Babies.
This is George Corcoran, the Fisher from Cannibal Corpse.
Hey, this is Rex from Kill Devil Hill. It's Wednesday 13.
This is Dad from Devil Driving.
This is Motorist from Quad. You're listening to Rabid Noise
on Rabid Radio.
Turn it up.
Welcome back to Rabid Noise on Rabid Radio. That was Alarm of Fate by Rise of Avernus, who are touring in the country right now in support of their latest EP, Dramatis Personae. And joining us on the program now is drummer Andrew Craig. What's up, man?
Hey, Nev, how you doing?
Good, just cranking some metal and, of course, looking forward to you guys coming up here.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking really forward to it. It's been a solid half year since we've been in Brizzy and all in Queensland in general. We're looking really forward to playing some shows.
How's the tour going? Because it's already begun, right?
That's correct. We just had a sort of warm-up show in Western Sydney last weekend, so that was the start of the tour. So Queensland's the first sort of big bulk of it and first interstate part of it.
That's mad, man. Well, it's a pretty big tour. Looking at all the dates, it must have been an absolute mission to organise.
Yeah, it's like, originally it was actually planning it to be even longer, but there was a few factors that had to cut it back, and a few states that didn't quite lock in time to get it as part of the tour. For example, Adelaide and Alice Springs, so we're going to be doing those later in the year now. But yeah, it was a big effort to get it all locked in and get some good dates happening, but sort of all finally clicked and worked. That's why the tour is actually 3 months after the EP came out in Europe, but it was to make sure that we get the right dates for it, not just rush things.
So are you going overseas with this?
The plan is, yes. We're currently in talks with some places both in Asia and Europe, so we're just trying to lock in the right things now and hopefully extend the tour internationally. Awesome,
man. It sounds like it's going to be an exciting year for you, man. Well, these two shows you have in Queensland this week with our good buddy Carolean, and one's at Shard's Corner in Brisbane and another one in Maryborough. So how'd you hook up with the Carolean guys? Because they're local.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, funny enough, because Adrian and I have worked together with a band called Lagerstein. He's a photographer, and I've also his old band, Prophets of War. Rise of Avernus has played with a couple times, so I've known him for a bit through different avenues, and sort of a similar kind of soul, like-minded style that they play too. So we decided to do shows with them because I knew they had a release coming up soon as well. And originally we had Underdog in Brisbane booked, and then they actually closed their venue without telling us. So I had emails coming from different venues asking, hey, do you want to do your show here? And so like, well, no, we've got a show booked, and then found out it was all canned, so then we got offered Chardons, so we're out there now. So Mousy from Chardons has really helped us out.
Mousy's a legend, man, and that room that they've got there now looks absolutely amazing.
Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about it, actually. Looking really forward to it.
On this tour, man, are you playing a bit of a mix between your older material as well, or are you just completely focusing on the EP?
A bit of a mix. So predominantly, some material is from the new EP, especially because our latest member, Mez, this is her first release that she's been on. So most of the material from that, but we've still got a couple of songs from Lapel David that we're still cranking out. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a long set.
So Mez is an absolute legend too, man. So how did you hook up with her?
Funny enough, my very first band I played with back in 2005. I think it was either our first show away from our local area was in a place in New South Wales called Wagga Wagga. And one of the bands we played with, Mez, was in. So I met her that night, and we've been mates since that. But a lot of our visits in Rise, when we went down to Melbourne, she always was working behind the bars of the venues we're playing. So we sort of kept in contact, and when it came time to find a new member, our vocalist suggested getting her to try out, and she fit it perfectly.
She's a mean front woman as well.
Definitely. She's brought, she can do the clean vocals perfectly, but she's also brought these extreme vocals to the band as well that Ben and Dan can do, but like having a three different styles of growls has just brought a whole different playing field to the music.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, definitely can't wait to see you guys this Friday night in Brisbane, but we're going to take a quick break and go to the new Carolean track called Crossing the Acheron now, and we'll be back very soon on Rabid Noise. And we're back on Rabid Noise. That was Pearce by Rise of Avernus. And we have been hanging with Andrew from the band now. You've shared the stage with epic bands such as Apocalyptica, Enslaved, and Flesh God Apocalypse. What's the biggest lesson you've learned as a band supporting these, touring acts?
I mean, especially some of those bands, it's definitely good insight to how bands operate and the right kind of chemistry you need within a band. That's something we learned well off a lot of those bands, and we now feel that we finally have within our band. But also just how small of a pond that Australia is, and just how big the world actually is, and how amazing it is that all these bands can travel the world and be able to show their craft to people, even bands like Enslaved 20 years on. It's great.
Did they give you any advice personally, though, like about touring overseas and things like that?
A lot of things in regards to, especially the industry kind of things that you need to know, and, the things to expect and not to expect. So, but yeah, definitely more so just the contacts, and because they've been great people and helped us really far along the way. For example, the singer from Enslaved, Grudel, he's actually lent his vocals to one of the tracks on our new EP, just making those connections, and especially when they're really easygoing and awesome people.
It's funny you see the guys like that up on stage, but a lot of them are just just dudes like you and me, really. Hey.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no matter like how big they come, and you see people sort of become obsessed, and but when you talk to them, just exactly normal people.
We were talking before, and you said that you're planning on touring overseas, but if you could tour anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
Europe's definitely been one of the big ones on the cards for a long time now, so which at the moment is currently in the works. So if that ends up planning out, going out the way I want it to, then I think it would be something really big for us, and I think it's where our style of music would be the most appreciated and go over the best as well.
I definitely think you guys are going to go really well in Europe.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be awesome for you guys. So definitely have to keep us up to date with what's happening with that, and I'll be watching that very closely. So when it comes to obviously touring, and you're all in a van together and driving around, who usually gets to pick the music? Do you guys argue over that, or is it usually it's usually pretty up there?
For the rare times where we are all in the same car, because of all the gear, usually it's between two cars, but usually it goes in picks, or we go by the rule driver's choice. So usually whoever's driving gets the choice, but most of the time no one complains anyway, because we all have very similar tastes.
That helps.
Definitely, yeah, no argument so far. Touch wood.
Awesome, man. Well, the EP, of course, is one of my favourite releases of this year so far, and the reviews have been really positive as well. Have you had anyone contact you that has surprised you as a fan, maybe from the industry or someone you'd least expect?
Feedback so far generally has been extremely positive. And, it's more so because the EP has been a bit of a change of direction, not a huge dramatic change, but still a bit different. We've gone to a sort of darker and heavier style that sort of doomy gothic kind of metal is known for, but usually there's different levels of it. We've sort of gone for a heavier one, thrown more death metal elements, and the people that we thought might abandon us or not want to hear that kind of material has actually come back and said how much they've appreciated it, and that's what's really surprised us, and we're really thankful for it too.
Has there been anyone that has sort of taken you by surprise, like in a bigger band or something like that, that's gotten a hold of it and gone, this is really cool?
Most of the ones we have are the ones we already knew, like some of the members of Enslaved and those kind of bands. Yeah, I mean, just more, I guess, the promoters that we've wanted to put us on shows before, but we haven't got around to, and the ones that have got back to us, especially overseas, that have really gone, this is something really good, I want to help you out with shows, has been really amazing as well.
So you've noticed it sort of opened a few more doors since the release of this?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, overseas touring is looking like it's ready to go now, while in the past it was sort of umming and ahhing about it, but now with the new EP, it's definitely set a course straight ahead for that.
Awesome, man. Well, tonight on the show, we're actually doing a bit of a Devon Townsend special as well. And I asked you before, like, what, track was your personal favourite? You said Earth Day from Terrier. Why did you pick that one?
2 reasons. First of all, it was the first solo Devon Townsend track I ever heard. Heard plenty of Strapping Young Lad, but when it came to the solo stuff, Earth Day was the first introduction I had to it. And secondly, because even to this day, it's one of the tracks I always go back to, because through all the different moods that Devon plays and all the different styles he does, it's one I feel is a perfect balance between all the different styles that he plays throughout his music. So it's one that I truly love.
I do too. I love that album, actually.
Yes, it's a great album, definitely.
Awesome, man. Well, we're going to spin Earth Day for you now, and we'll follow that up with another Rise of Avernus track. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday night at Chardon's Corner. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you very much, Nave. Look forward to catching up.